And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and movie review for the brand new Disney prequel sequel film, The Lion King, Mufasa, The Lion King. That's right, Mufasa, The Lion King is a prequel slash sequel to the 2019 quote-unquote remake of the original Lion King film. Now, James Earl Jones is not back in this film, but there is a beautiful message tribute to him. May he rest in peace. We all love and miss him. So, Lion King, the Mufasa story. Let's talk about it, because when I first saw the trailer for this, I was just like, okay, so you decided to do Lion King 1.5 / Lion King Simba's Pride, take those pieces, take away Timon and Pumbaa's part of that story and put Mufasa. Okay, could be interesting. But I was not really like, I don't really want to see. I love Mufasa so much. He's one of the best characters in the Lion. He's the anchor of Lion King, And I didn't need a backstory of how he becomes who he is, because we already knew it. We kind of knew it. We don't need to, And then his relationship with his brother. We find out his brother's name is Taka, not Scar. But, we'll get to that in a minute. And when you watch this film, it's like, okay, I'm actually enjoying this. There's some stuff in here I really liked. And there's also some stuff in here that I quite did not like about this film. But overall, I thought the film was okay. So, what exactly is the story about? Well, Mufasa, as a young cub, he's not royalty. He's not royalty. Before he becomes the king, he's basically a peasant, in the world of the lions. He lives with his family. Something happens where he ends up getting lost, and then he ends up meeting a young lion prince named Taka, also known as Scar. They form a bond and become brothers, but Taka's family is like, he's an outsider. We don't trust outsiders. And this is all in the trailer, so don't worry about that for spoilers. So they become friends. They start off as friends, but they really have that bond as brothers. And then of course you see snippets here and there of Taka, aka Scar, doing his iconic gonna throw you off the mountain stick that he does. And I thought that was kind of on the nose a little bit, but still I guess to get the audience to remember, like, yeah, this guy becomes who he is in the Lion King movies. But yeah, where his story goes to. Then we get a whole story about Taka and Mufasa literally have to try to find a new place to live, because there's this other alpha lion who calls himself the Lion King, and he's a white lion, and he thinks he's like the king of all the lions. So when his pack is chasing Mufasa and Taka, they have to race not only to survive, but also they have to race to try to find a new place to live and try to thrive on it, and see if they can make their own this new place their own home. Okay, so that's basically the gist of what the plot is. Like I said before, I quite like this film. There's some stuff in here that I really like. They really showed a lot about how the connective tissue, how Mufasa, how he is who he is, how brave he is, how he was naturally gifted of being, kind of a hunter and sensing things and smelling things. And he was just a gifted natural lion that not even the other lions had possessed. He had those natural qualities about him. And of course, he, down the road, he passes it on to Simba. And then, of course, Simba passes it down to Kiara, which is Simba's daughter. Spoiler for the animated movie. But we do see Kiara here in the movie, and Rafiki's the one who's telling the story. And then, of course, you got Timon and Pumbaa as well. We do see Simba a little bit, but not as much. But then it's just the whole backstory of how Mufasa becomes who he is, to tell her, talk about the grandfather. So I liked that stuff a lot. I really thought the chemistry between Taka, aka Scar, and Mufasa really worked for me. I thought that stuff was cool. Like, you really sense that they were like, wow, they, because you know, for a long time we all thought they were actually blood brothers, and you know, they were both princes to their family, but it wasn't the case. Mufasa was a stray. He was a stray, and Scar was the prince. He was he was destined to be the next Lion King. And then this stray comes along and he bonds with him. He's like, yeah, he's not a stray. He's my brother. I love this guy. We're together. We're brothers. And then you start seeing them to transition to them and, you know, becoming brothers. And, you know, and then, of course, down the road, we all know what happens there. But I thought that stuff was really cool. I loved how we got to see Sarabi in here. Spoiler alert for that. Just a small little spoiler. It's not much of a spoiler because we know who Sarabi is. Sarabi is Mufasa's wife. She's in the movie. That's all I'm going to say. She was great. She's also in the trailers too, so it's not much of a spoiler. But anyway, spoiler for the trailer. So there was that. Zazu is in the movie as well. He's in the trailer. He's great, as always. You know, like I said before, we do see in the trailers Timon and Pumbaa. And I'll talk about them in a minute, because they do something to Timon and Pumbaa that I kind of did not like. So I'm gonna say that for the negatives. I love Rafiki in here. Rafiki's just being who he is, because, you know, a lot of times when I've seen Lion King about 100,000 times. And, you know, we all know Rafiki, he knew Mufasa. But we didn't know how much he knew him. Like, really knew him. Rafiki, like, knew Mufasa like that was his brother. Like they were like this. You know, we knew, like, okay, maybe Mufasa met him and they became friends, fine. And then, you know, he helped them, you know, baptize Simba as the next Lion King, you know, for that. But in this movie, when you watch it, they have that bond that's like, wow. Yeah, he's a monkey, but they become like brothers, and it's kind of cool. I love that stuff. That stuff was great. Sarabi was great as well, seeing her connection to Mufasa, and of course Taka as well. Because remember, in the animated film, they never really explained this, but, you know, Scar was in love with Sarabi. They never explained that in the cartoon until the 2019 version came out. That, oh yeah, you chose him over me, kind of a thing. That's one little line that's in the original 2019 movie. So spoiler for that. But I never knew that, and then they show that here, and it's like, wow, makes sense now for what they did in that little change in the 2019 version. Okay, so let's talk about the negatives in here, because there's a couple here that I did not quite like. I'm gonna start with the music. Now you have the composer of like Moana and Hamilton and Lin-Manuel Miranda. I am so sorry if I butchered his name. He's a great musician. I love his music. Didn't quite like it here. You know, Lion King has probably one of the greatest musics you could ever think of when it comes to Disney. Hakuna Matata, you know, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Sueña, Circle of Life. We all know those songs. So iconic, so catchy. You have kids, or you just listen to yourself, and then don't shame if you are, because I do that sometimes myself. Pop it in, you know the song right away. You can even put it on random, and it'll pop up. Yeah, that's Lion King. Here, the songs were cute, don't get me wrong. It's just that they weren't memorable. It's not like I'm gonna, like, I can't even remember a song from the one song I can remember is I Always Wanted a Brother, and that was a cool song. It didn't have the catchiness to it. Same thing, I had the same problem with Moana 2. Moana 2, they had some cool songs. It's just that they weren't like 10 years from now, I'm not gonna remember those songs. 10 more years from now, I'm going to remember the Hakuna Matata song, obviously, because that song is so iconic, and it's like, yeah, sure, this movie could be iconic, sure, but to me, I'm not going to remember the songs. I have to watch it again just to remember what the songs were, you know, so I didn't like that. Another thing I didn't like is, there's one more thing I didn't really like, and this goes back to Scar, or Taka. I didn't like his transition to becoming Scar. Now, I'm not talking about him getting his scar, we'll see that. You'll see that in the movie. How he gets it was pretty cool. I'm talking about him feeling like Scar. I did not like it because when you first meet Taka, he's just a kind of a shy lion. You know, he sees Mufasa kind of brave, kind of strong, and you know he's trying to keep up with him. And you know, and then there's a moment in this film where you see Taka like kind of get angry, and it just felt wooden to me. I grant it's a lion, I guess, yeah, but you know, the one thing I love about the animated Transformer movie that came out this year was the fact that when we saw Megatron break down, and you know, because his idol was lying to him, spoiler for that movie, he snapped. He like literally snapped, and he started yelling at people like, yeah, that's Megatron. Yeah, that's like, you were like, yeah, there you go. That's how you become Megatron. But here I was waiting for the moment when he becomes Scar, like, because we all love Scar and his, you know, his own evil way. We love him, but we, you know, hate him also because what he does to Mufasa. It's like it just happens. It's just like, yeah, that's why you become who you are, because of this. It wasn't because, you know, we all thought, oh, he kills his brother in Lion King movie because he wants to be king. It wasn't just because of that. There's another reason in this movie. I'm not going to explain what it is, but there's another reason why he becomes Scar. Not before he gets it. I'm talking about like feeling like Scar. And it just didn't feel right to me. And I don't know. Overall, I thought the film was okay. You know, obviously the voice actors were great. You know, I liked the actor who played Mufasa. You know, he wasn't trying to be James Earl Jones as Mufasa. He was just doing his own thing, and it worked. I liked that. I like. I think Beyonce was in it as well. I think her daughter plays Kiara. That was cool. I did not like the ending. I did not like the ending because it kind of changes what the sequel straight to DVD movie did, and I didn't like it. It was cute. It was a cute scene, but I just like, nah, I didn't like it. But overall, cool little movie. Wasn't really, you know, like the best sequel, prequel. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Forgot to mention this. Timon and Pumbaa, did not like them in this movie. They constantly kept being annoying every 5 seconds they were on screen. And I love Timon and Pumbaa. They're like the funniest characters. I feel like they forgot how to write their funniness, and they just made them annoying. I don't know how, but whatever. But overall, I thought the film was okay. You know, not exactly my cup of tea, but you know, Disney, you know, maybe shouldn't just focus on doing a sequel instead of a prequel, but whatever. So yeah, there you go. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the Mufasa of the Lion King. Are you guys looking forward to seeing it? Not looking forward to seeing it? Love the original. Love the 2019 version. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. And thank you very much. And have a good day.